Let me go in here. I'm actually just pulling up to here right now. Hey, y'all, this is it right here. Front sway bar. This is the big boy. All right, you guys, what it do? Your boy is back on the grind one more time. Your boy is back at it again. And in this video, we actually are going to install the sway bar. So the front and rear sway bars. I'm actually started with the rear first. Easiest thing to do. I have the rear end already jacked up. And I'm not going to go in depth on this video. I'm just going to just show you guys what I'm installing, and we are going to get it done. So if you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, y'all. I'm restoring a 1971 Chevelle, and it's going pretty good. It's giving me problems, but it is going good. So what I did is I have bought a new front and rear Hotchkis sway bar kit. And the reason why I went with Hotchkis, and a few people has asked me this, is because Hotchkis is one of those brands. They've been around for a long time. They're tried and true. They are a good company just overall. A lot of other companies have kind of taken the forefront now just because they're making coilovers and things like that. So I think they kind of got the jump on Hotchkis in regards to like the coilover game. Hotchkis still makes coilovers, but their stuff is not cheap, you guys. One other thing, and one of the main reasons why, is because Hotchkis has one of the biggest sway bars as far as the front sway bar goes. I think the one I got is like 1.75 inches, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a big sway bar. Another thing is their sway bars are solid. Like there's some hollow sway bars out there. There's some sway bars that are made out of lighter material out there. It doesn't mean that they aren't as structurally sound. But you know, because some are probably for racing, things like that. But these, I wanted like the full solid sway bar, so that's one of the main reasons why I went with them as well. I know their stuff. I've always went with their front and rear sway bar, so that's why I got them. The only bad thing is the sway bar that I got that's adjustable will not work with these UMI adjustable rear control arms. I had to get those because I had to move the rear end up a little bit, and so that's why I had to go with a different sway bar, because they won't work with these control arms, because I think their adjustable rear sway bar only works with their control arms. So what I did is I had a Hotchkis rear sway bar on my Buick already. If you go back several videos ago, you actually will see me taking that off, and I took it to the powder coater. So that's what I have over here. It is now orange, and so is this new sway bar that I got from Hotchkis is now orange. So it's the only piece of orange suspension piece underneath the car that you will see, with the exception of the inner fender wells. Those are orange, both top and bottom. So I just wanted to kind of give it just a little bit of pop, but not overbearing. So when you see underneath it, you see that orange. Also through my grill, you can see the orange through the grill, and that's pretty dope, you guys. My vision is coming to life, and I'm really excited to get this car on the road and to kind of see it come to the forefront. Man, it's been an amazing journey. Tough at some times, but amazing. So anyways, let me go ahead and flip this camera around. I'll show you guys the sway bars, and then I'll try to show you me installing it if I can. The angles aren't very great. I'm under the car, so that makes it tough, but if I can, I will. So let me flip this camera around. All right, you guys, so here we go. If you hear any music playing in the background, that is my neighbors across the street. Every Saturday, their band comes and plays, and they play like classic rock, so I find myself lip singing like every single song because I hear them all the time. Plus, at the gym, we play music all the time, all types of genres, and I'm like lip syncing every single song out there. So it's kind of nice just to have something to listen to. But yeah, they're out there jamming. So anyways, you guys, this is it. This is actually the rear sway bar, Hotchkis rear sway bar. So this will actually mount up to my UMI adjustable control arms. I already test fitted it before I took it to get powder coated. But yeah, this is that Chevy orange. Ooh wee, that looks so sweet. Tell me that ain't gonna pop, you guys. Tell me that ain't gonna pop. So we got that one. And if we come over here, then we have the top sway bar. So that one that you see in the black with the plastic, that's the rear. It's the same thickness, I believe, as the one I have, but I'm not able to use it because how it mounts is it mounts with these, where are they at? You might not be able to see them, but they're like little arms. They're adjustable arms that they pivot on. And so I won't be able to use those. I don't think I can, at least with these. So their website says you cannot, but you know, we've been down this road before as far as companies saying you can't use them. You can't use a certain product with another product, but I just didn't want to risk it. And so I just thought, well, let me go ahead and mount this one up first. And then if I, you know, decide I want to try to use it later on, I will. But yeah, y'all, this is it right here. Looking really, really nice. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get that one installed. If I can't today, maybe another day, but I have a couple videos already in the process of being edited. So in the meantime, I will get this one installed at some point and then get you guys this video. So, but I definitely want to get this rear one put in because it's going to be the easiest and the quickest. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead, try to set up this camera to see if I can get you guys a good angle, and then we'll get it going. So here's what it looks like underneath, all installed, and man, I do like that a lot. Man, I like that a lot. It'll accent the Willwood orange on the brake calipers really nice. And obviously when I get that little wrapping off, I'm leaving it on for now because that's where I put my jack stand. You can see where the markings is on my rear end, so I'll clean that up too when everything's said and done. But man, oh man, does it look really good. Get in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Now I just gotta lower it down. I put Loctite on those bolts, so I gotta lower it down and torque them all down to 50 foot-pounds, and then we should be set. We should be set. They do have nylon nuts on there, but these are a little bit older, so they're kind of starting to spin a little bit more freely, so I just put a red Loctite on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down, make sure there's weight on there, and go ahead and torque them down to 50 foot-pounds. I don't think the sway bar actually needs weight in order to torque them down. I know a lot of the suspension, like the trailing arms and stuff, you have to have the car on the ground on its own weight. But I'm gonna go ahead and just do it and be safe, and then do it that way, and then we'll call it. So yeah, that's the rear end install, and then we'll go ahead. Y'all, so now we are to the front of the car. I was actually going to wait and do this another day, but I decided just to go ahead and do it now. I'm already kind of in that mood of doing this, so might as well just do it. But what this is all the hardware they give you and the grease that they give you to install this with. So I'm just going through that right now. What I'm going to do right now is just go ahead and grease the inner portion of these bushings. This is what the sway bar kind of like pivots on and is also supported on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then they give you a couple different size bolts here depending on your application. Mine takes the bigger ones, and I went ahead and already tested it out. I went ahead and made sure too also that the bolt holes were all good. There's 3 here, but I have 1 on the ground. So but I made sure all the bolt holes, I ran through them, and they were all good to go. So we are good there. And I'm gonna go ahead, put the ones back that I don't need, and then go ahead and grease these up. So it's easy enough, you guys. It's just installed by 4 bolts, and then the end link kits here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So I'll get my grease out. Just go ahead and lube. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off camera, you guys, and then I'll chime back in here once I'm ready to install the sway bar. So you guys stay tuned. Not as terrible as I thought. Little challenging with one person, but definitely is doable. So now I got the end link kits here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can install those here real quick. It should be, well, cross fingers, should be fairly simple. All right, you guys, actually, I think I'm gonna use this one. This is the one that came with Hotchkis, but I really don't think that it matters as far as the sway bar goes, but it is specific to these control arms because they have these little Heim joints on here. So they gave me the directions to install this. And so they look like this, if you guys can see that. So I'm gonna have to install and follow these directions here. So it says raise the car, boom, 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 assemble, end links finally, stretch the rod to 8 arms with supplied bolts. Doesn't really give any height options or anything like that. So looks like we're just putting this thing together. So it looks like this goes on top of the sway bar with one of these first. Hopefully you guys can see okay. Then one of these bushings. So I'll try to go ahead and do this while you guys are with me. Okay, then it goes another bushing here. And then another one of these. So let me go ahead and put that on. Of course, they're gonna make this challenging. All right, whew. Got that done. So then a nut is supposed to follow that, and then another nut, then the Heim joint. So, yep, so it goes here, then the bushings and all that, then the nut holds on the bushing, and then there's another nut that locks it in place, and then you screw on another nut, and then the little Heim joint. And then this nut right here locks the Heim joint in place when you set it to your desired height. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest off camera. It's a little bit of time to kind of put these on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest off camera, and then I'll show you the final product. All right, y'all, so after some time, it's finally in there, and then I was messing around with the coilovers and the height and everything when I talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But this is what it looks like, y'all. That sway bar really sets it off, you guys. Man, that looks good. Get in the comments, let me know what you guys think in regards to this sway bar. I think it looks pretty damn slick myself, y'all. But yeah, it was pretty easy to get in. It just took a little bit of time to make some adjustments in regards to centering it up. And what I did was I made sure those bolts were really loose everywhere. And then I looked at that end link here and just saw how straight up and down it was compared to the other one. And if it was a little bit off, then I just shifted the whole sway bar to the side until it was all centered.
and then tightened it down, and then it was good to go. So, man, this looks really good. I'm really, really pleased with this. Definitely get in the comments, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'll try to put my phone on a selfie stick, and then that way I can at least stand and give you guys a good visual all the way around of what this thing looks like. I will say this is a big ass sway bar. I didn't think it was going to clear, but it ended up clearing, and where it's really tight, and I probably have about 1/8 of an inch. Let's see if I can get down here. Is right, oh, right there. So it almost hits that steering linkage right there, you guys, but it just clears, And I also thought it was going to hit the tie rod ends right here, but that clears too. It doesn't look like a whole lot of space in the video, but it actually is probably about 2 inches there. So anyways, y'all, this looks really good. I am going to get off my back because I am super tired of being on my back, man. I've been on my back installing this, the other sway bar, and up and down with the car jacked up and down many times to get the coilover set, because you can't set the coilovers, I guess, with the weight on the car. So I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But check a look at this sway bar and let me know what you guys think.
All right, y'all, so I am going to call it for the night. That is it. But I did want to touch on the coilovers real quick. As I mentioned earlier, I was adjusting the ride height, and it's just temporary. But man, this thing has been a battle trying to get this thing level. And what I came to the conclusion was, I think some of the sides are off, like the panels aren't lined up correctly. And that could be because, at least as far as the height goes, and that could be because this panel was replaced. And it's not far off. It's only maybe like, gosh, maybe like 3/8 of an inch or less. Maybe 1/8 of an inch off. And that's really not that much. But what I had been measuring was, let me turn this camera around. What I have been measuring is from the floor to this point here. And I measure right down the middle. And this side is always higher than the other one. So what I was thinking, I was like, man, let me just go ahead and measure just other places. Like I measured from the floor to like the tail lights, like the top of the tail lights here on both sides. And I was measuring from the bottom here down, and I did it in the front too, just to kind of see if my measurements held true. So with that being said, it ended up being everything else lined up. Like both sides were right on, from the floor down to the underneath the bottom of the rear quarter was right on. The only part that was kind of off was just like the front of, I measured from the bottom of the front of the rear wheel and on both sides, and the driver's side was lower, and that's the side that is always lower. So that's the side that's always looked like it's super tucked, which it is. And so I always find that I'm like somewhere between a 1/2 inch-ish to 3/4 of an inch off on both sides. And so it was just baffling me, you guys. I was raising the car up and down and messing with the coilovers and messing with the height, going up and down on both sides. And it was just, it wouldn't really ever line up. So I got it close. So now it's within like a 1/2 an inch. And that's probably the closest I've ever gotten it. And I set the compression and rebound, so I really just have to drive it and see kind of where the suspension settles in. And I was kind of the same in the front too. I had to mess with the ride height here. It's actually probably a little bit higher than I'm actually going to go. I wanted to see how it looks like totally level, and I'll show you guys this real quick. Oh, I should have showed you earlier. I had this whole thing off so you guys can kind of get a good look. But see how it's a little high? I'm probably going to lower it just a little bit, so that way the wheel well kind of tucks and hides at least half of the tire from the top down. It's a little bit high for my liking, but the rear here is actually perfect. But what I'm saying here is see how kind of this is tucked, and I'm holding it pretty level, and I'll take it to the other side. And then you can see here how now this quarter sits basically mid to almost above the lip. And on the other side, it actually tucked. So yeah, that's what I've been battling from side to side. But I also was thinking, I was like, well, I have this heavy ass seat in there, so that could be it. And so I was like, well, let me just wait and see when I get this seat in, and then I kind of just get everything just dialed in and everything just installed and see kind of where it sits then. I guess there's that infamous GM lean as well too. So a lot of times you're kind of off, quarter inch, half inch on both sides. So I don't know, you guys, we'll see. But the front is definitely coming down. I just really wanted to see what it looked like level, or as level as I can get it. And I don't know if I really like it. I really didn't want like much of a rake, but just because of the style of rims I have going 2 inches smaller in the front, I'm probably gonna have to have a little bit of a rake, which for Chevelle will look pretty good. So, but I wanted to at least set the initial height here just to kind of see how it is level, and then I'll probably go a little bit lower from here. So anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. This is it. This concludes this video. Another step closer to getting this thing on the road. And man, I've been waiting for these brake parts forever, you guys. So it sounds like they're going to get here on Tuesday. So it's supposed to be 70 degrees here next Thursday. So I'm hoping maybe I can drive it on Thursday because I will have most of the day off. So that'll be good. So once the parts come in, then I can install it. They're just little angle fittings, and I'm just waiting for those to get here so I can go ahead and install everything. I got my brake lines, all new brake lines. Those should work perfect. And then the fittings should mount up perfect. And then we should be good to go. Hopefully no leaks. We shouldn't have any leaks at all. So I'm really, really hoping that we don't. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. My name is Mr. Curvin 23. I'm going to get out of here. Deuces. Peace out.